Hey everybody, it's Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. I'm actually honoring a request video that somebody had asked me some questions on, and so yeah, I told them I'd make a video and just give them some suggestions. So the request comes from a YouTube watcher, and what the request is, let's see. She says, I have a 1998 Pontiac Sunfire with 271,000 miles on it. The battery light keeps going on intermittently. I took it to AutoZone and they tested the battery and the alternator and they were both good. They said I need to go to the dealer to have them check the computer. Is that the only option? No, that's not the only option. Okay, so we're looking at 1998 Pontiac Sunfire. One question that I asked is, when the battery light comes on, does anything else happen? Does the car run funny? Any other lights come on? This person says that sometimes it's just the battery light. It stays on for a minute or less and then goes off. Other times, they'll be driving along, the battery light comes on, and then other lights and gauges all go off for a second and then come back on, but the car itself doesn't change. So mechanically, nothing happens when the battery light comes on. It's just that the gauges and everything acts kind of funny. So this person thinks the car is possessed. Don't worry, it's not possessed. Okay, let's first look at an instrument panel. All right, this is an instrument panel. This is a GM instrument panel. It's not going to be the exact same that's in a Pontiac, but it's going to be close, all right? And these instrument panels now, they're all electronic. So if you pull the back off, you have motherboards and all that other stuff. As a matter of fact, here's some of this is an older one, so it doesn't have LED lights. It has normal lights that, little light bulbs that you can just replace there. Okay, and so you can open these up and you can look in here for bad solder connections. You can look in here for any burnouts. You can look in here for any transistors or resistors or anything that may need to be replaced. You can pull this whole thing apart. But 9 times out of 10 on a Pontiac, if you got a dashboard that's acting up, it's going to be more than likely the electrical connector. Dirt and grime will get inside of this electrical connector, dust and other things, and over the years, the connection will get bad, and that can cause your gauges to act funny. So yeah, you'll need to take apart the dashboard. It's not too hard. There's been many jobs that I've done where I've had funny lights and gauges not wanting to work correctly, and so all I've done is taken the dash apart, unplugged it, cleaned it out, plugged it back in, and then next thing you know, it's worked. There's also been jobs that I've done where I had to fix and resolder motherboards, and then there's also been jobs that I've done where I've had to replace this unit as a whole. So there's one suggestion, but now remember, we're talking about a 1998 Pontiac, okay? And let me tell you something that's common on the 1998 Pontiac. Let's get in here. I believe it's going to be this graph. And this is just going to be an example here. Okay, so on the Pontiac, underneath the battery tray, so what you're going to want to do, so you've got under battery tray, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to remove your battery and then also remove the battery tray. And there is a very significant ground underneath the battery tray. Now, I don't know why they placed it here. It's a bad spot because this ground wire will go funky. It'll get rusted, corroded. It'll develop a bad connection, and this ground wire having a bad connection could be why you have a good battery, you have a good alternator, but why your battery light likes to flicker on and off, and also why your instrument panel acts up but nothing else acts up, because this ground wire is going to be associated directly with that. So that's another thing that you may want to check, is that all the ground wires, especially the one underneath the battery tray, is good. Now, if you've checked all your ground wires, you've gone ahead and you've checked behind your dash and you've cleaned that out and you're still having issues, then the next step for me would be to go ahead and check the main battery cable. and see if there's any shorts or anything like that. Now, one thing that I'd like to show you how I do this is, let's see, let's get a car that actually, okay, so let's get one that's put together here. Hold on just a second. So there's nothing wrong with starting a vehicle. Now this is going to be a main battery cable here, okay? And let's see, maybe we can even find a ground somewhere. Look, see, there's an example of a ground right there, okay? So there's nothing wrong with, while the engine is running, while somebody is sitting in there watching the gauges, there's nothing wrong with grabbing these wires and wiggling them around. Grab the ground wire, wiggle it around. Grab the battery cable, wiggle it around. Grab wiring harnesses and just wiggle them around. And be paying attention, because you never know, if you have a short in one of these wires and you start wiggling it around like this, you just might get it to act up accordingly. And that's ultimately how I begin to chase shorts, is I'll grab wiring harnesses that I know that are associated with the proper system, and I'll start wiggling them around to see if I can get anything to act up. And I'll do it while the engine is running. You're really not going to hurt anything doing that. So there you go, folks. If you have a Pontiac and you're having issues with battery lights going off and on and dashboard's acting up, first and foremost, check your dashboard connector. Second of all, check all your ground wires. And then third of all, check your battery cable. All right, everybody. Well, this is Matthew, your friendly neighborhood technician. Thank you for watching and supporting me. Keep the requests coming. If it's something that I can do, I will definitely do it. Sometimes I get requests to show how to reset the timing on engines or to show how to rebuild an engine. So keep those requests coming too. And as I get this YouTube channel up and going, better camera equipment and stuff, then I'll be able to start posting specific videos on engine rebuilds and other major work. Okay, everybody. Well, thank you. I am signing off.